Before we dive in, please take a second to subscribe and tell us where you're watching from. It means more than you know. Now, let's continue this story. I was debugging code at 2 a.m. when Dad's email arrived. Subject line, family matter urgent. My stomach dropped. Nothing good ever came from those words. Rachel, your mother and I need to discuss grandmother's estate. Call when you can. This can't wait. Grandmother Dorothy had passed 6 months ago. The grief was still fresh, sharp enough to catch my breath at random moments. She'd been my champion, the only one who believed in me when I dropped out of college to start my tech company. I called the next morning. Sweetheart. Mom's voice was already doing that thing, soft, careful, like she was approaching a wild animal. Your father and I have been thinking. Here we go. About Gran's money, Dad cut in. The inheritance. My inheritance. The $1.5 million she'd left specifically to me in her will. I'd seen the document myself when she'd shown it to me 2 years before she died. This is for you, Rachel, she'd said, her papery hand gripping mine. For your dreams. Don't let anyone take it from you. What about it? I kept my voice neutral. Well, honey, you're doing so well with your little company. My company has 40 employees and cleared $8 million last year. I interrupted Mom gently. Exactly. Dad's tone shifted to reasonable, logical. You don't need it. But your brother. Marcus needs a fresh start, Mom rushed in. He's been struggling since the divorce. Marcus was 36. His third business venture had just collapsed. Before that, he'd been fired from a sales job for not showing up. Before that, a failed food truck. Before that, a pyramid scheme he swore wasn't a pyramid scheme. Gran left that money to me, I said carefully. She didn't know how successful you'd become. Dad's voice hardened slightly. If she'd known, she would have wanted it to go to whoever needed it most. That was a lie. Gran knew exactly what she was doing. We think the right thing, Mom continued, the fair thing, is to split it evenly between you and Marcus. Split it. I repeated, my fingers frozen on my keyboard. Or, Dad added, given your circumstances, maybe Marcus should have the full amount. He could finally get that construction business started properly. Buy equipment, hire a crew. They wanted to give my entire inheritance to my brother. We're having a family reunion next month, Mom said. We'd like to announce it then. Show Marcus that his family believes in him. I need to think about it, I managed. Don't think too long, Dad warned. Marcus is counting on this. After they hung up, I sat in my office watching the sun rise over the city. My company's logo glowed on 3 monitors. Every pixel represented sleepless nights, failed pitches, ramen dinners. Gran had believed in me when no one else did. She'd sent me $200 checks during those lean startup years with notes that said for the CEO. And now they wanted to hand her final gift to Marcus. My phone buzzed. A text from my sister, Lauren. Mom told me about the plan. I think it's really generous of you. Marcus deserves a break. I stared at the message. Lauren, who'd borrowed $8,000 from me 3 years ago for emergency dental work and never paid back a cent. Another text. This time from Marcus himself. Sis, I heard about the inheritance thing. I know it's a lot to ask. But this could change my life. I promise I'll make Gran proud. He'd never visited her in the nursing home. Not once in her final 2 years. I drove to Gran's lawyer's office that afternoon. Rachel. Margaret Chen had handled Gran's estate for 20 years. She welcomed me into her office with sad eyes. How are you holding up? I need to know my options, I said. About the inheritance. Margaret nodded slowly. Your parents have been calling me too. They want to give it to my brother. I gathered that. She pulled out a file. Rachel, your grandmother was very specific in her wishes. The money goes to you. Period. Your parents have no legal standing to redirect it. But they'll make my life miserable if I don't give in. Margaret studied me over her glasses. Your grandmother told me something once. She said, my family thinks kindness is weakness. I'm leaving my money to Rachel because she's kind, but not weak. She'll know what to do. Tears burned my eyes. The inheritance has been in probate, Margaret continued. But everything's cleared. I can transfer the funds to you by the end of the week. Do it, I heard myself say. Transfer everything. And Rachel? Margaret smiled slightly. Your grandmother also left a letter. I was instructed to give it to you only if your family tried to take the money. She handed me an envelope. Inside, Gran's shaky handwriting. My darling Rachel. If you're reading this, it means they've shown their true colors. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I'd hoped they'd surprise me. This money is yours. I saved it by being careful, by sacrificing small pleasures so you could have big dreams. Your parents don't understand sacrifice. They've never had to. Marcus is not your responsibility. He's a grown man who's made his choices. You've made yours, and I'm so proud of who you've become. Don't let them guilt you. Don't let them take what I meant for you. And if you decide to use this money in a way that honors what we shared, education, hard work, helping those who help themselves, that would make me happier than anything. I love you. Be strong. BYOU. Gran. I sat in my car and cried for 20 minutes. Then I called my financial advisor. Samantha, I need to set something up. Today. Over the next week, I worked with Samantha and Margaret to create the Dorothy Henderson Memorial Scholarship Fund. The entire $1.5 million would provide full scholarships to women starting tech businesses. Recipients would get tuition, startup capital, and mentorship. Everything Gran had believed in. Everything she'd given me. The family reunion was at Uncle Tom's lake house. 60 people showed up, aunts, uncles, cousins I hadn't seen in years. I arrived with fresh flowers, wearing the necklace Gran had given me for my college graduation. The one I'd actually finished after my company took off. Rachel. Mom hugged me tightly. We're so glad you came. Dad clapped my shoulder. Ready for the big announcement. Marcus pulled me aside. He looked hopeful, nervous. Hey, sis. I just want to say thanks. Really. I won't waste this chance. We'll see, I said neutrally. Dinner was loud, chaotic. Cousins caught up. Kids ran around. Aunt Sarah got drunk and told the same stories she always did. After dessert, Dad stood up and clinked his glass. Everyone, can I have your attention? The room quieted. We're here to celebrate family, Dad began. And to honor Dorothy's memory. Mom dabbed her eyes. She'd barely cried at the actual funeral. Dorothy left behind a generous inheritance, Dad continued. And after much discussion, we've decided how to use it in a way she would have wanted. I sipped my wine, watching. Marcus has had a tough few years, Dad said, putting his hand on my brother's shoulder. But he's got a solid business plan now. A construction company that could really take off with the right investment. Marcus stood, looking embarrassed but pleased. So we're thrilled to announce, Mom took over, that Rachel has generously agreed to give Gran's $1.5 million inheritance to Marcus, to help him finally achieve his dreams. Applause erupted. Marcus's eyes filled with tears. I don't even know what to say. Speech, someone called. Marcus's voice cracked. I know I've messed up before. But this time it's different. With this money, I can finally prove myself. I can make Gran proud. And Rachel, he turned to me. Thank you. Thank you for believing in me. More applause. Cousin Jennifer was filming on her phone. Aunt Sarah was crying. I stood slowly. The room quieted again, expecting a humble speech about family and second chances. Before everyone celebrates too much, I said clearly, I need to clarify something. Mom's smile faltered slightly. I never agreed to give Marcus the inheritance. The room went silent. What? Dad's face reddened. I never agreed, I repeated. In fact, I explicitly said I needed to think about it. You chose to announce this without my consent. Rachel, Mom started. Let me finish. I stayed calm. Gran left that money to me. Specifically to me. Her will was very clear. Marcus looked confused. But Mom said. Mom doesn't control Gran's estate. I do. I pulled out my phone, opening a document. What I didn't tell anyone is that I claimed the inheritance 3 months ago. You what? Dad's voice rose. The money was transferred to my account in February. Lauren's face went pale. So where is it? Gone, I said simply. Gone. Mom shrieked. What do you mean gone? I donated it. All of it. The room erupted in chaos. You what? Dad shouted. Marcus just stared at me, his mouth open. I donated the entire $1.5 million to create the Dorothy Henderson Memorial Scholarship Fund, I explained over the noise. It provides full scholarships and startup capital to women launching tech companies. You had no right. Uncle Tom bellowed. Actually, I had every right. It was my money. That was for family. Aunt Sarah screamed. It was for me, I corrected. And I chose to honor Gran's values. Education. Hard work. Helping people who help themselves. Mom's face had gone from red to white. You threw away our money. Your money. I laughed bitterly. When did it become yours? We raised you. Dad shouted. We fed you, clothed you. And I've been grateful. I bought you that car 3 years ago, Dad. Remember? The $35,000 Tesla? He blinked. And Mom, who paid off your credit cards? Twice. That was $18,000 total. That's different, Mom said weakly. And Marcus? I turned to my brother. Who loaned you $12,000 for your food truck? And another $8,000 when it failed? And gave you $5,000 for Christmas last year? Marcus looked at the floor. I've given this family over $78,000 in the past 5 years, I said. Not counting smaller gifts and dinners and help with bills. And not once have any of you paid me back or even said thank you more than once. You have plenty, Lauren started. Because I work for it. My voice rose. I built my company from nothing. I slept on friends' couches. I ate peanut butter sandwiches for months. Where were all of you then? Silence. Gran was there, I said quietly. She sent me money when I was struggling. She believed in me. And when she knew she was dying, she made absolutely sure her money would go to someone who would use it the way she would have wanted. I pulled out Gran's letter. She left me this. She knew you'd do this. She warned me. Mom reached for it, but I held it back. The money is gone, I said. It's helping women who are where I was 10 years ago. Broke, ambitious, working themselves to death for a dream. That's what Gran would have wanted. That's not for you to decide. Dad's face was purple now. Actually, it was exactly for me to decide. Gran made me the executor. She gave me the money. She trusted me. You're selfish, Marcus said suddenly. His voice was cold. You're rich. You don't need it. I needed it. You need to figure your life out, I replied. And you won't do that as long as people keep rescuing you. We're your family. Mom was crying now. Real tears this time. Family doesn't lie, I said. You told everyone I agreed to give Marcus the money. You made that announcement without my permission. You tried to manipulate me in front of 60 people. You've embarrassed us. Aunt Sarah shouted. You embarrassed yourselves. I picked up my purse. I'm leaving now. Don't contact me unless you're ready to apologize. If you walk out that door, Dad said, his voice shaking, you're not welcome in this family anymore. I looked at him. At Mom. At Marcus. At all the faces staring at me with anger and shock. You know what? I said. I think I'm okay with that. I walked out. Behind me, the shouting started immediately. My phone began buzzing before I reached my car. I turned it off. The next day, Lauren posted on Facebook. When people show their true colors, believe them. My sister chose money over family. Gran would be ashamed. The comments filled with relatives agreeing. Calling me selfish. Greedy. Cold-hearted. I didn't respond. I posted a single thing, a photo of Gran and me at my company's launch party, her face beaming with pride. Be strong. BYOU. Dorothy Henderson. I'm trying, Gran. My best friend, Jennifer, called that night. I saw Lauren's post. Are you okay? Honestly? I stared out at the city lights. Yeah. I think I am. They're being horrible. They're being themselves. I sipped my tea. I just finally stopped pretending otherwise. The scholarship fund is beautiful, Jennifer said. Have you seen the applications? I hadn't. The fund's website had gone live that morning. I opened my laptop. 217 applications already. I clicked on the first one. My name is Sarah Chen. I'm 23, working 3 jobs while trying to launch an app that helps immigrants navigate healthcare systems. My grandmother came to this country with nothing. Tears rolled down my face. Rachel? Jennifer's voice was concerned. They're perfect, I whispered. Gran would love them. Over the next month, the family campaign against me intensified. Dad sent a cold email about changing their will. Mom left voicemails about forgiveness and charity beginning at home. Marcus started a GoFundMe claiming I'd stolen his inheritance. It raised $347. The scholarship fund, meanwhile, made national news. Tech CEO honors grandmother with $1.5 million education fund. The applications kept coming. Stories of brilliant women held back by circumstances, not ability. I announced the first 10 recipients at a press conference. One was a single mother. One was a former refugee. One had been homeless. All of them reminded me of myself 10 years ago. All of them had that same fire in their eyes that Gran must have seen in mine. 3 months after the reunion, I got a text from an unknown number. This is Marcus. I know you blocked me. I just wanted to say I started therapy. My counselor says I need to take accountability for my life. She's right. You were right. I'm sorry for what I said. And what I expected. I'm not asking for money or forgiveness. Just wanted you to know I'm trying to do better. I stared at it for a long time. Then I replied, I'm glad you're getting help. I mean that. 6 months later, Jennifer and I went to the scholarship fund's first graduation. All 10 women had launched their businesses. 3 were already profitable. One came up to me after the ceremony. Ms. Henderson, I wanted to thank you. This scholarship saved my life. Thank you for working so hard, I said. My grandmother would have loved meeting you. I read about her, the young woman said. About how she supported you. That's what I want to do someday. Pass it forward. Driving home, I thought about Gran. About her letter. About the choice she'd trusted me to make. I'd lost my family. Or maybe I'd never really had them the way I thought. But I'd gained something else. A legacy that mattered. Women who would build businesses, create jobs, change lives. Gran's money wasn't gone. It was multiplying. My phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Rachel? Mom's voice was small. Can we talk? I pulled over. I've been thinking, she said slowly. About what you said. About the money we never paid back. About the assumptions we made. I waited. Your father and I, we took advantage. We saw how successful you were and we just expected you'd always give more. Yes, I said simply. I'm not asking for anything, she continued quickly. I just wanted to say I'm sorry. Really sorry. Not for the inheritance I understand that was yours to do with as you wished. But for how we treated you. For how we took you for granted. Thank you, I said. And meant it. Do you think, her voice broke. Do you think someday we could have coffee? Just talk. Maybe, I said. But not yet. I'm still healing. I understand. She was crying. I love you, Rachel. I love you too, Mom. After we hung up, I sat in my car watching the sunset. I thought about Gran, probably looking down and shaking her head at all the drama. I thought about the young women whose lives would change because of her final gift. I thought about the family I'd lost and the peace I'd gained. I hope I made you proud, Gran, I whispered. My phone buzzed. An email from the Scholarship Fund coordinator. Rachel, you need to see this. Application #1847. This girl's story is incredible. I opened it. My name is Maria Lopez. My grandmother raised me after my parents died. She cleaned houses to put me through school. She died last year, and her last words were "make me proud." This scholarship would help me launch an educational software company for low-income students. I smiled through my tears. Gran's legacy would touch lives she'd never meet. Women who would touch more lives. A ripple effect of belief and opportunity. That was worth more than any family dinner where I pretended to be smaller than I was. That was worth everything. 1 year after the reunion, the Scholarship Fund had helped 43 women launch businesses. Those businesses had created 212 jobs. Dad sent a short email, saw the news story about the scholarship recipients. Your grandmother would be proud. So am I, actually. Sorry it took me so long to say it. Lauren reached out through Jennifer. I was wrong. I see that now. The Facebook post was cruel. I'm sorry. Marcus sent a Christmas card, 6 months sober. Got a job as a construction foreman. Learning to be grateful for what I earn instead of what I expect. Thank you for not enabling me anymore. Weird thing to thank someone for, but there it is. I didn't reconcile with everyone. Some bridges had burned too completely. But I learned something important. You can love people and still protect yourself from them. You can honor family without sacrificing your own peace. Gran had known that. That's why she left her money to me with instructions to be strong. Being strong didn't mean being cruel. It meant knowing my worth. It meant understanding that some gifts come with chains, and the kindest thing is to cut yourself free. 2 years later, I stood in my company's new headquarters, looking at the wall of photos. Scholarship recipients, all of them thriving. My phone rang. Jennifer. Turn on channel 7. Now. I grabbed the remote. A new segment was playing. The Dorothy Henderson Memorial Scholarship Fund celebrates its 2nd anniversary today with remarkable results. 43 women-owned businesses launched, over 200 jobs created, and an estimated economic impact of $12 million. They interviewed one of the recipients, now running a successful healthcare app. Ms. Henderson gave me more than money, she said to the camera. She gave me permission to believe in myself. To bet on myself. That's what her grandmother gave her, and she passed it forward. I called Jennifer back. Did you see? I'm crying, she admitted. Gran would be so happy. Yeah, I whispered. She would. That night, I visited Gran's grave. I brought flowers and sat on the grass. I did it, Gran, I said. I used your gift the way you wanted. I didn't let them take it. I didn't let them make me feel guilty for being strong. The wind rustled through the trees. Sometimes I still miss them, I admitted. The family I wished we could have been. But I don't miss who I was around them. Always smaller. Always apologizing. Always giving pieces of myself away. I traced her name on the headstone. You taught me that kindness and strength aren't opposites. That I could be generous without being a doormat. That my dreams mattered too. A cardinal landed nearby, bright red against the green grass. The scholarship fund is changing lives, Gran. Just like you changed mine. I stood to leave, then paused. Oh, and Gran? Marcus is doing better. He's actually working and taking responsibility. I think he needed someone to stop rescuing him. You were right about that too. Walking back to my car, I felt lighter than I had in years. I'd lost a family that wanted me to shrink. I'd gained a legacy that would grow for generations. I'd chosen myself. And somewhere, I knew Gran was smiling. If this story resonated with you, please like and subscribe for more real-life tales about honoring the people who believe in us, setting boundaries with grace, and understanding that the greatest inheritance isn't money, it's the courage to live according to your values. Drop a comment about your own experiences with family expectations. Have you ever had to choose between keeping peace and honoring someone's true wishes? Let's support each other in the comments below. Remember, true family honors your boundaries, not just your bank account.